Daily Psalm. Today, Psalm 47. Since before the election, we've been offering Psalms each day to bring a little lift, to keep us open to the possibility of something else happening. And of course, we were very grateful with the election. It took us through that, but we realized we still had a need for lift. We still had a need to continue with these Psalms that seem to have an important message for each day. So as we're working through the Psalms, and we're also working through the worst part of this pandemic, we have this Psalm 47. It's just before Thanksgiving, just before Hanukkah, and this psalm could be misunderstood as a song, just another song of praise, of song. But there are some secrets in this psalm that Hirsch brings to us. And I think the first one is that this notion of our hands not clapping as it's usually understood, but you'll see in verse 2, hands clasping. And at the end of the psalm, we have this image of people being gathered together. And instead of Jacob, who is the synthesizer, we've been talking about that, and there is a reference to Jacob, what we get at the very end of this psalm is a reference to Abraham. Abraham and Sarah, the parents of both Isaac and Ishmael, the birthers of all people. Not all people, but at least, Jews, Christians, and Muslims that claim Abraham as their common ancestor. And we it's a metaphor, I think, for we're all in this together, and the connectedness of creation. And the notion of public health, really the notion of public health. So as we approach Hanukkah, I think we also have to remember that the challenge between the Jews of the time and the Hellenists and the Hellenistic Jews of the time, right? There was all kinds of identifying with Hellenistic culture as well, which was part of the tension. How much of Hellenistic culture do we assimilate? But, there was a basic difference between Greek philosophy and Judaism. And one of the simple differences was that the Greeks felt like, there was destiny, right? We were in the hands of the gods, like Plato. We were observers, and we had to figure out our place in all of this, but we really didn't have much to do in the unfolding of history. We named it, we were witnesses, we were viewers of what was happening, and we could explain it, we could tell the story. But Jews that was not Judaism. If you look at the Hebrew texts, we are very much participants. We are very much participants in the unfolding of this story, right? We are very much participants. We are not at the mercy of the gods. We are co-creators with God. So, I'm seeing my friend Corinne. We are going to offer you a healing prayer this morning. As soon as Jimmy gets back from feeding the dogs, we will hold you in our heart, you and your little one growing there, to wish you a refuah shlema, and participating really in this story of healing. So I think this psalm yesterday was, kind of let go and let God, recognize that, less self, more God. And this one is too, but it is about finding our place in it. What is our place? What do we have to do? What's the balance between the letting go and letting God, and the clasping of hands and marching together and doing something about the injustice, doing something about the brokenness, making sure that this independent feeling that people seem to be having right now, with 30 million people traveling across the country at a time of a great pandemic. What do we need to do to get the message that we need to clasp hands, that we need to work together, and get the kind of humility that it takes.
Clasp hands in the Zohar?
How?
Like this.
Like this, yeah. So I ask everybody to do that as we offer a blessing.
First, I'm going to sing a prayer for healing.
Okay, so my friend Corinne is here too, and I promised her a healing prayer for Corinne and her baby, and for your friend's brother.
Yes,
for our friend Jack, for my friend Sam.
Sholem ben Fega Rivka.
Beautiful.
Sholem ben Fega Rivka. Refuah Shlema. Refuah Nefesh. Refuah Guf. For the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body.
Yeah.
Refuah Nefesh. You have to put the key in. Refuah Nefesh. Refuah Guf. She'll get out of this. Refuah Nefesh. Refuah Guf. For the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body. Refuah nefesh, refuah guf. For the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body. For those we know, for those we don't know. Sholem ben Fega Rivka. For Corinne. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel in front of me. The angel Uriel behind me. The angel Raphael above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head. Shechinatel for Miri. For Nefesh.
Mary, if you hear us, we're sending prayers to Jerusalem.
The healing of the spirit, the healing of the body. Michael, who is like God. Gabriel, God is my strength. Uriel, God is my light. Raphael, God is my healer. Above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen. Karev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu ובפי עמך בית ישראל ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל. Make your teachings pleasant on our lips and the lips of all of those that come into our circle, so we can spend a time in learning for pleasure and for its implications. Baruch atah Adonai melamed Torah le'amu Yisrael. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion. And let Susie say,
Amen, 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 amen. There's always something we can do, even if it's to offer a prayer. There's always something we can do. To draw godliness, to draw goodness into the world from within us, from without. And so Psalm 47 begins.
La menatzeach.
Livnei Korach Mizmor. To the one that grants victory, a psalm by the
Livnei
sons
Korach.
of Korach. You know, the ones who redeemed the past.
Formerly rebellious,
By doing
now
good.
lyrical.
They are. They're doing good. And here's where he says, not clap hands, but clasp hands. Clasp hands, you people. Call forth to God the tribute of teruah, that call of the shofar, that call, that holy call, that sacred call. B'chol rina, B'chol rina, with that sound of rejoicing, right?
Ki Adonai Elyon Norah.
Verse 3. For God that loves all things. God loves all, right? Everything. Even the schmutz, right?
Oh, Most High.
And has that big picture.
Yadber.
The one that we are in awe of, because it's everything. It's Hakol. The great presence over all the planet, over all the earth. The one that gathers the people together beneath us and the nations under our feet. Okay, so, that's God's message to us, right? That we are, it's everything, right? We are united, right?
The word that you're translating is gather here comes from a root that also means to speak, to say. So
beautiful.
We're kind of gathering with words as it's pointed in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Gather, put your words together.
Yeah. The one who chooses our inheritance for us, the pride of Jacob, which is loved. And remember Jacob too, didn't start out so great. Became a mensch on his journey. Jacob, who learned how to do the right thing by learning from his mistakes, by moving forward, and struggled every day to be Israel. When he became Israel, it was sometimes Jacob again. So, verse 6. But once God shall have ascended amidst the tribute of Teruah, God will appear as all-merciful, with the sound of the shofar, b'chol shofar. Right? So sing praises, sing those praises, sing out, because we know the singing, right? That's why we sing the Mishaberach, we sing the healing prayers, we sing our prayers, we chant, we use our voices, because singing is praying twice. Sing these praises, sing to the hope, the desire that all can be connected, that we will do the right thing, not just for ourselves, but for each other. For this is what is the ruler of all the earth, singing to spread this knowledge far and wide, the knowledge of finally recognizing that, there's that story about the guy in the boat with all the other people drooling under his seat. And they said, "What are you doing?" He says, "This is my seat. I can do what I want. The boat's going to sink." We have to realize we are in this boat together, right? This is the knowledge that we, the Jewish people, are here to share. And Hanukkah is that message, right? We are the ones that are writing the story. It's up to us to write a better story. Verse 9. God has already begun this teaching, right? Sitting upon the holy throne. This is moving forward, right? This teaching is being unfolded, and how? Self-sacrifice. We gotta sacrifice self-interest for the common good. The self-sacrificing among the nations has rallied around this oneness, this notion, and by who? Not the people of Jacob this time, but the people of the God of Abraham, right? What did Abraham do? At least, according to the tradition, Abraham said, "There's no more my God and your God, no more team gods. There's just one. It's just one, whatever you call it. You can call it Buddha, you can call it Shiva, you can call it Allah, you can call it anything. You can call it humanity, you can call it anything. You could call it the earth, Mother Earth. Whatever you call that God, it's one. It's the same. We may have many different garments for it, but the soul of the soul, God here, the message is self-sacrifice for the common good. It's right here. Because to God belong the shields of the earth. It may feel like it's not here with us, But when we act with love, with compassion, with kindness, with hope, and as one, then we channel godliness into the earth, into creation.
Psalm 47, Soul Melody. To your leadership, formerly rebellious, now lyrical, singing. Put your hands together, all peoples, a loud, predictable sound. God highest, near and far, all the earth, gather together, all peoples, river flowing, pride of Jacob loving, it is Selah. God lifting up, sound of the shofar, swing it for God, swing it for soul melody, spread the melody, send it all over the land. Swing intelligence, God has begun, gather in the nations. God of Abraham, withdrawn once, now shield of the earth. November 24th, 2020, Tehillim on the ceiling.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. So I hope you're feeling the Misha Berach, the healing prayers that we're sending out to all of you and to your loved ones. Please stay safe. Know that even as we are staying as safe as we can and sheltering in place as much as we can, that we are all still connected. So we wish you a day of lift, a day of peace.
When you imagine up.
Imagine up and remember that our hands are clasping. Our hands are together. We really are connected. We are one. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.